Ray.
So moving to 5A, Lockhart on the boys for District 25. Leander Glenn, Leander Lyons, Liberty Hill, Leander Rouse, and through here. But Lockhart Lions a surprise at 6-0.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a surprise. But like I said, Leander Glenn's is the team to beat. And I think they proved it last year, and uh, uh, so they kind of someone can knock them off. We'll see once they get into district play. Also, keep an eye on Leander Rouse. I know that that record doesn't reflect on much. They're always a tough team. Same thing with Cedar Park. Your sleeper team could be, like I said, is that Liberty Hill team. Keep an eye on them. If Lockhart wants to get into maybe, get that final playoff spot, it's probably going to come down to them and Liberty Hill.
And then moving to the ladies for 25, Buda Hayes 7-0, Leander Rouse 6-0-1, Cal Lehman 2-0, Liberty Hill 4-1, Cedar Park 4-1, Leander 5-3-1, Leander Glenn 3-2-1, and Lockhart just by standing wise at 3-2. This one has to be one of the toughest divisions, at least early on paper. And I know there's another one coming up here that's also extremely tough. I believe it's 26 if memory serves me right. In the San Antonio area. This one looks loaded, at least from my view, which I don't have the same expertise of high school soccer that you do.
Yeah, you got to remember last year 25 5A swept 26. So they're, like I said, as far as Region 4, them at 25 and 26 are probably the toughest districts, probably even in the state. I think it's going to come down to, who really, can Buda Hayes maintain that record and compete? Like I said, Liberty Hill's a great squad. So is Cedar Park. Leander, like I said, last year, it came down to Leander Rouse for the girls. One of the things they said they do, these teams challenge themselves before district play. So the records may not look fancy, but everything.
They still look good.
Yeah, they still look good. So that shows they've beat some quality teams. And like I said, the one I actually got to see is Lockhart. They could be a sleeper team. The girls of Lockhart, they have some talent, and I did get to speak to them, and after the game against Harlan, and they may be one team that could sneak up on them, and they've done a good job, kind of help rebuild that program. So, but that's gonna be a fun district to watch, from the Austin area.
And then 26 for the boys: Bernie 3-1, Alamo Heights 5-2, Piper 4-4. Each one of those got a early district win. Veterans Memorial and Bernie Champion drew in their first match. Smithson Valley, a little bit of warning signs, maybe hasn't played a district match, but for the second year in a row, kind of off to a slow start. Now they did turn it around last year. We'll see if they can turn it around again. Wagner, Kerrville, Tivy, and New Braunfels, it's very, very early, but lost their first district match. To me, I guess a surprise, Veteran Memorial at 7-3-1 at this point, including a draw against Bernie Champion and District.
Yeah, that's a big positive for them. Can they, build upon that, because they got some, like I said, they got some juggernauts here. Like I said, Bernie boys last year, how far they went last. 4A, now they're up in 5A, but like I said, they challenged themselves. They went to that North Texas Elite Showcase and did very well up there. Alamo Heights, like I said, they're another strong team moving over. Piper, I know Piper, don't let that 4-4 fool you. They've played some good teams, to start off the season. Bernie Champion, a little slow start. We'll see if they can get it together. And same thing with Simpson Valley. I think, and the one's a little surprising, little New Braunfels, from them moving on from 6A to 5A. I thought they'd be probably one of the favorites. Get that would be one of the 4 spots. I'm not sure if with Long Creek opening up, kind of has taken some of their talent away. We'll see. We'll see like I said, in the next couple, next few years. But we'll see if they can kind of get it together. But this, like I said, this district, you cannot sleep. A result, stealing points away is going to be the key here if you're going to get yourself into the playoffs.
And moving over to the ladies, not much difference. Bernie 6-2, Piper 5-1-1, Alamo Heights 5-2. Bernie Champion 2-3, but they got a victory in district. Smithson Valley 2 no district play as of yet. Veterans Memorial, Wagner, Kerrville, Tivy to me is kind of the surprise at still winless on the year, including dropping a district match here. But I know we all said Bernie, Piper, Alamo Heights. Those are the top three, and then who could get that last spot.
I think there's like 16 contention. You got to think also. Like I said, to me, going in, it was going to be between Bernie, Piper, Alamo Heights, Champion, Simpson Valley, and New Braunfels. No disrespect to the other three. And what's going to be a shame that two of those, two out of those six are not going to make the playoffs. They probably would be making the playoffs in another district or even winning a district title. So, like I mentioned, the key on this is you have to steal points away. You got to defend your home turf. Got to win your home games. If you can steal a point away, or you can get a big win away, it's going to help your chances of qualifying for the playoffs for this.
So moving to 5A District 27, Jefferson, Burbank, Seguin got their first district win in, I want to say, a few years. I believe is what they mentioned. Edison.
It was the boys.
But it was their first district. I want to say in 4 years, and I know they were in the real tough district. What was it, the 26, right? Or
yeah,
it was it was tough. Like I said here, Lanier hasn't played as of yet. Anything surprised you on this here? I know Jefferson was kind of talking with you, was kind of your team to look out for on this one here.
Yeah, now that you don't have, like I said, this year, with Alamo Heights moving out and also
MacArthur
moving out, it's became a kind of like a little even playing field, for here for the boys. It's going to be tough. Still a tough district. Like you mentioned, like Seguin boys finally got a district win after 4 years. They had a good showing at that. But they actually beat Jay there at that Ranger Classic, so that was a good confidence booster for them. We'll see. Like I said, yeah. The one team to kind of look out here in the boys is Lanier. Like I said, I think they've challenged themselves. I think they'll be I think it's going to be between them and Jefferson. Can Burbank kind of maintain where they're at? Same thing with Edison. Edison's kind of been year in, year out, but Edison usually plays the tough non-district schedule right before the district play. So I think your top these 5 teams, the first 5 teams are probably your playoff.
Pretty much same thing over and with the 27 girls. Jefferson, Highlands, Edison, Seguin also got a win in district for the here. Any surprises on this one here? Or anything that stands out to you? I know you mentioned the heavyweights, Alamo Heights and MacArthur, have departed for other districts, within 5A4 here. But your thoughts on the 27 ladies?
Yeah, the one, I think the Seguin girls may make some noise this year, and I know they get to see them play. They hung around for a while when they played Bernie High.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of frustrated them for a bit until, like I said, they gave up a late goal in the first half, and then kind of went down a little bit. There, I think they kind of wore out. But it was a good showing. One of the things that we played well defensively. They had a good goal. They have a good goalkeeper. The thing is with them was how were they going to be able to find some offense, and that was the kind of the role they were lacking in that Bernie game. Jeff, like I said, I did get to see Jeff play when they played Coach Connell's team in scrimmage. They're physical, a good team. I think they're going to be the favorites. Surprise the Highlands. Highlands, hasn't really been a factor this year. Like I said, this could be their year. Edison's year in year out. The girls they've always been in contention. Even before Alamo Heights and Arthur were in that district over the last years, it was kind of like the Edison Jefferson show for the girls soccer. I think those 4 teams, and then we'll see if Lanier can kind of sneak in.
District 28, MacArthur 6-0-1, 2-0 in district. Southwest 4-4, 2-0 in district. Southwest Legacy 4-4, 2-0 in district. Southwest Dragons still undefeated, 6-0, 1-0. They beat Jay the other night. John Jay 4-3, 1-1. They get off to a good start, but have kind of struggled in their last 3. For that here, they'll be hoping to get back on the winning ways for that here. Eagle Pass, Eagle Pass CC win 2-4, 1-1. McCollum, Southside, Harlandale, and South San. But to me, this is shaping up. MacArthur, Southwest has to be the 2 heavyweights so far early on. Legacy and John Jay, I think, still trying to figure out how that top 4 will shake out.
Yeah, so Southwest, like I said, they're the clear favorites for this, but like I said, MacArthur's not going to roll over. I know last year those 2 did face each other in the playoffs, and like I said, Southwest kind of did a number on them. So maybe MacArthur can use that as some fuel going into when they match up. Southwest Legacy, like I said, what they did last year, they're going to hopefully build upon. They always play Southwest tough because it's, like I said, it's a classico for them. Maybe if they can get the pieces together, never know. Anything can happen. J boys, like I said, dropping up from 6A to 5A. I think they'll be fine, even though they said
they got to find that talent on the offense. The offense is there. They lost a lot of due to graduation last year, so it was some growing pains with that.
So, but I think they'll bounce back, and then we'll see what CC Win does. Like I said, can they surprise some teams? We'll see, and then we have the rest. One little surprise is that Harlandale. Remember the Harlandale? Last year they started off really high.
Well, it wasn't just last year; it's the last 2 years that they started out
like really hot. But then they got brought back to reality when they ran into Southwest.
So maybe they're trying something a little bit different this year.
Yeah. Maybe they learned something. Like I said, they have to play some tougher teams. But like I said, with Southwest, like I said, the key for them is not losing focus. And even though they're not, they played some heavyweights early on. Your district may not be as strong as maybe some of the other ones, but you still have to remain focused. You still have to show up because any little off night, it can kind of derail what you're trying to do, especially the team they have. I know they're talking a lot about, oh, this is our year. We're gonna go deep. It's just gotta play one game at a time. Don't look ahead. When you start looking ahead, that might be one night that's not your night, and you gotta have to find a way. To win. But like I said, I think they have a good. I think they have a good chance. It's just gonna depend on what division they're in. Either D1, more likely they're gonna be D1, and the biggest the kryptonite has been those teams in the valley. So we'll see if Lopez gets in, and I know Lopez has been kind of turned up, which we'll talk about in a bit. I guess we'll get to the girls' side for 28.
Yeah, they'll be D1 because they're the largest school. So for that here, so yeah, they'll be. To me, the surprise, John Jay, the Lady Stings, 6-2-1, 2-0 in district. Southwest Legacy 2-0, MacArthur 2-0. No shock there. McCollum 1-1. South San 1-1. The Lady Dragons started out district with the loss. That one kind of surprised me a little bit for that here. Your
I,
thoughts?
I think I think your two favorites here is going to come down to John J. MacArthur. Uh, One thing with John Jay, they had a real positive results when they went down in the valley for that tournament, especially that they got a 0-0 tie with McAllen. And like I said, I actually got to see McAllen play over the past weekend. Great squad. They're going to do some damage down there with them at Memorial, which a little bit more, but that's a good result for them. Like I said, they took care of business against Southwest, and I'm sure Southwest Lady Dragons are. They know it's not gonna be a gimme this year, especially with Jay and MacArthur in. Legacy, we'll see what they can do. Can they maintain, you know, momentum in there? I know last year McCullum, like I said, a playoff team last year. I know
Mm-hmm.
they had, like I said, they had a loss, recently. Can they kind of bounce back? And like I said, I know they had a win this past week. But like I said, it's going to come down. I think it's like a 5-team race for the 4 spots. But right now, your early district title favorites are going to be probably John J. MacArthur.
And just want to give a shout out to Matt's South San, the Lady Bobcats, early on putting some pelts on the board here, which is good to see for them here. Moving to 29, Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial 5-2, 2-0. Corpus Christi Flower Bluff 5-3, 2-0. Gregory Portland 1-0-1. Just trying to think here. Corpus Christi 1-1. Carroll Tigers. Your thoughts on the Corpus schools out of 29? Any surprises?
No, the two favorites that are going to be Veterans Memorial and Flower Bluff. Year in year out, those are the two. Um, Gregory Portland boys may surprise some teams this year. Um, the kind of the things have changed over there since I coached. Because I remember we made the playoffs back in '06, we played Corpus Christi Carroll, and we beat them here. They're at Northside. They're in the grass stadium. Um, so I know Carroll used to have a really good program. Same thing with King. But lately it's been the Vernus Memorial Show. So, but also like I said, Flower Bluff too. They also play some tough teams. I know they usually go to that Alamo Heights tournament,
Mm-hmm.
so they're well prepared. So it's going to come down to those two teams.
Moving over the 29 girls, Corpus Christi Ray 2-0, Gregory Portland 2-0, Flower Bluff 2-0, Veterans Memorial, and Corpus Christi Carroll 1-1. Along those lines, like I said, here out top 5 probably going to contend for the title, or do you see any of like King or Miller coming up?
No, the 3 teams to look at as far as title contenders is going to be Gregory Portland, Flower Bluff, and Vernus Memorial. I think those are the 3, uh, especially Gregory Portland.
Mm-hmm.
They've built themselves a really good program there, and they've made some deep runs the last 3 years. So I think it's going to be down to those 3. We'll see if Corpus Christi Ray can maybe get that last spot. But like I said, we'll see what Carroll does in that district.
Moving to 5A District 30, Laredo Nixon 7-1, Laredo Martin 5-3-1, Roma 3-1-1, La Jolla Palmview. Brecker doesn't look good, but got a district win. Your thoughts on this one here? It's still very, very, very early, but looking at the non-district schedule, looks like Dixon and Martin seem to be the top teams so far out of District 30.
So the powerhouse out of this team usually has been La Jolla Juarez Lincoln, but they got beat by Laredo Martin, and Laredo Martin went to La Jolla and beat them. So it's gonna, like I said, Martin and Nixon are rivals. So shout out to Jose. Jose's a Martin graduate, Gordino. So I'm sure he enjoys watching those games. I actually got the pleasure to watch Nixon play when they played at the Edgewood tournament. I got to talk to some players that kind of gave me some insight. They're a talented team. They got some good, like I said, they got a good attack. Like I said, year in year out, like I said, Martin Nixon usually have some great programs. But like I said, Juarez Lincoln has been the dominant team, and this year to kind of for Martin to beat them on the road, it says something. But don't count out Juarez Lincoln out. I think it's going to come down to, like I said, Nixon Martin. Um, keep an eye on Palmview. Could be a surprise. We'll see what Roma and Rio Grande City could do as well.
Moving over to the ladies for District 30, Mission Vets Memorial 5-3-1, 1-0 in district. Palmview 1-0 in district. And that's kind of Laredo Nixon 3-1. Not a lot on this district. There's a lot of information out for here. So, any thoughts on 5A30 for the ladies?
Yeah, this was a little open race. But I think it's going to come down to Mission Veterans Memorial. I think they're going to, like I said, they're the favorite. See how the program.
31, always a little bit light reporting for District 31. It doesn't seem like no matter the region. Was it PSJA? I forgot what that stands for. I had it written down.
San Juan Alamo.
North Raiders 3-2, 1-0. Mission Sherryland 1-0 or 1-2-1, 1-0. Just it's hard to give a whole lot of information on here. Any thoughts, real quick, on 31 boys?
Usually, like I said, the top team has been Sherryland. Sherryland, like I said, they've won a state title in the past. But also PSGA Southwest, they've had also a real good program. It's probably going to come down to those two, and then we'll see if PSGA North can get into the Final Four. One of the two last remaining spots. Same thing with Sherryland Pioneer, McAllen. McAllen Bulldogs. Like I said, they've made the playoffs in the past. Like I said, I think from spots 3 and 4, it's going to be kind of a wide open race behind Sherryland and Southwest.
Moving to District 31 girls, PSJA Southwest 7-3, 1-0. McAllen Row undefeated 6-0, 1-0 in District. Sherryland Pioneer 4-1-2. Mission Sherryland 10-1-2, but lost their first district match here. I think that's one kind of surprise, but for District 31, at least for the ladies, seems like we got quite a bit of information so far to kind of get a baseline heading into district.
Yeah, the two teams that keep an eye on year in, year out is McAllen, and last year was McAllen Memorial. And I remember last year I had McAllen Memorial, my RPIs for the 50-50. So, and I actually got to see McAllen girls play. They played Madison here. They lost 2-1, but just watching the McAllen team, it's a very talented team. Coach Arnie's got them. They're challenging themselves. I think you the same thing with McAllen Memorial. I think they realized they had to kind of step it up because both teams made it to the regional semifinals and both teams lost to the Leander. So they know they have to play top level competition to get into the next at least to get to the state tournament.
So it's not just San Antonio that loses to the Austin schools. 5A32, the last one here. Brownsville Lopez 6-0, 2-0. Brownsville Porter 1-1. Harlingen South got an early district win. Thoughts on this one here? I guess Brownsville Rivera losing the district, probably a little bit of surprise if you're just looking at the standings here. But I know you're a big Brownsville Porter fan and Rivera fan historically. But your thoughts on 32 boys?
Well, I'm more of a Hannah fan because that's where my dad graduated. Well, the original Brownsville High. Well, I have cousins that went to Lopez, so I don't think it's like, hey, you're a Porter fan. So, like I said,
well, just talking soccer wise,
soccer wise. No, but this district, this is a tough district. I mean, now that you have Brownsville Rivera kind of swapping places with Veterans Memorial, it's interesting. Like I said, I got to see Brownsville Rivera play. I know it was a scrimmage against Southwest, but that Brownsville Rivera team's got some talent. And I saw one of their midfielders. That kid can go. And like I said, wherever it comes out of this is going to be battle tested. One team also last year that really made some noise was the Donna North team.
Mm-hmm.
They were up in the top. One of the top two teams last year. like I said, Lopez, I think they return a lot back. Um, it's gonna be interesting how this, how this matches up. Going into the, once the playoffs start, who goes D1 and who goes D2. Southwest is going D1. You know, does Lopez go D1 or does Rivera go D1 or there's Donna North. It's gonna have to be interesting matchups. I think in the end, you're probably gonna have probably three. Like I said, I think Rivera will get there. Same thing with Porter, Lopez, and probably Donna North, and we'll see. We'll see how Harlingen South. I mean, Sargent South, they've been coming up and coming team. Uh, they, like I said, they hopefully they can get their pieces, kind of the pieces together to get into that fourth spot. But also traditionally, like I said, Brownsville Pace has always had a good program. I know my uncle George, he works there. He always tells about their program. I should get some more news about them. Let's see how strong they are this year. But as like I said, there's no gimmies in this. Like I said, anybody can beat anybody. You have that it's a playoff game in this district, and that's why like I said, you see teams like Lopez and Porter, Rivera make deep runs into the playoffs.
And then moving to 32 girls, Donna Lady Redskins 4-0, 2-0. The North Chiefs 2-0. Brownsville Pace 1-0. Harlingen South 1-0. West Laco East 1-1. Brownsville Lopez 1-1. Your thoughts on this district for 32 girls?
Well, the perennial power usually has been Harlingen South. They've been, like I said, the last decade or so been a dominant team. I think they've so surprised with that record, but like I said, they're probably challenging themselves. Lopez girls usually has a good squad. The Donna schools are starting to make strides now, so this is kind of, I think after Harlingen South is going to be wide open as far as who comes out of this district.
And then moving on to 6A here real quick. 25 Cedar Park, 6-0-1, 1-0. Vandergrift 5-0-1, 1-0.